What up, everybody? It's your boy, Cousin Oz, the People's Mailman, back for another episode with Cousin Tony, the Architect. Back in the building with my cousin, doing things the way we do. How you doing, man? What's going on, brother?
Feeling good, brother. So playoff basketball is here, which is pretty much when I really start paying attention. Like I
Yeah.
said, that 82 game season sometimes seems to drag on. But I'm good, brother. I played a round of bad golf today, and I'm just here ready to kick it with you, man.
Yep.
But yeah, man. So we're here for another solo episode this week, which is nice. Like I said, I would like to talk with you a little bit about what's going on, and I wanted to talk to you about a nice mail day that I got. Not so much what I got in the mail, but the way the guy sent the stuff. Like I got to give this guy props, man. And just there was a bunch of 56 tops commons cards, but
So
and this is
you're
now
really you're really trying to fulfill that set there. You're becoming a set collector, Tony. You're real
I
vintage,
I
real vintage.
am. I
That's
now
cool.
have 23 out of the 342 cards that I need.
Wow, that's a lot of cards, bro.
Yeah, yeah. It's you know what, we're going to talk about that later. It's definitely a different collecting mindset,
Hmm.
I feel. And we'll talk about that later because there's something that you wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have 23 of the 342, but this is now the second time I've purchased some cards off of this gentleman, and I'll keep. I'm probably gonna keep coming back once he puts some more cards up. It's through Facebook.
Hmm.
Um, Good reputation per the group, stuff like that. So I felt pretty comfortable. But he PayPal goods, and he's right off the bat. He prefers PayPal goods and services
Okay.
for both of us. So it protects both of us. I'm like, no problem, man. So paid him like that, and he's now sent two envelopes with nice, real big. Says, "Do not machine, do not bend." Says pictures. Doesn't even say fragile. Like it has those three things really big and pronounced. And I guess that means something to you guys. You can talk to. I mean, I guess you only deliver. You don't see
Yeah, it
the
doesn't mean
fragile.
nothing to me, but to the clerks that are throwing that stuff around like it's a football and, jump shots from 3-point land and
Mhm.
putting it on the machine and it going through and getting squished or. So when you see, I mean, again, I can't speak for the clerks because I've seen
Yeah.
them do some crazy stuff with,
Listen,
yeah,
I'll
it is
tell you
what
what. There's been a couple times where I've sent boxes,
Mhm.
and it's, like sometimes it's been cards, and they're for the most part it's light. Man, my man just takes it and just choo. It's like, dude, like,
Right off the bat.
yeah, that's
Again, I don't mean to rat out my peoples, but it is very cringeworthy when you see that because especially the way I am. Like I just received a huge box of Funko Pops, two of them that I ordered. Not the little ones, but the bigger ones where it's
yeah.
like a He-Man and Skeletor, but they're
Mhm.
riding, Panther and Battle Cat.
Oh,
So
nice.
they're the bigger ones. So I got both of them at the same time from the same dude. And thank God he packaged it well. He did everything, the bubble wrap, he put the cardboard, um, not even like the cardboard, but when it's like
Yeah, I got you. That's it's hard to.
yeah,
I know
yeah, I don't
exactly
even
what
know
you're
what the
talking
hell it
about.
is, but it's good filler in there
Uh-huh.
to make sure it's not moving around. But that's the key, man, especially for toys. I know with cars, but for toys, especially if you're keeping it in the box, those
Mhm.
things are very fragile, the Funko Pops. So
Yeah.
to have a nice box and to make sure the plastic doesn't get bent, you gotta really, really do a good job with that. And so, PSA for the people out there, if you're selling stuff, man, just take that extra little, step to go ahead and make sure that you're packaging stuff right. Just, for you, because you don't want to get a bad review from somebody, and you just want to make sure that the stuff you're sending gets to that person the same way that you had it and when you were able to enjoy it.
Yeah. Especially when you got that type of stuff happening at the post office. As you were talking, I'm picturing when Ace Ventura, when he was a UPS guy, and he had he had the box, and he's just kicking it down the street and stuff
Bro,
like that. So
I haven't seen that,
yeah,
but you might as well when
yeah.
you're like four hampers deep and they have it all memorized, so they know where it's going. And dude, with those clerks, the way they separate it, it's unbelievable because they had these huge hampers full of stuff. So it's anything from boxes to little cards to the medium size, and they're just like,
Mhm. Wow.
all over the place. And I'm just like, wow. So it gets where it needs to get to, but it might not be in the shape that you want it to. So
Right. It's wild how you're watching that now through the eyes of a collector. All you're
Yeah.
seeing is collectibles, and that it could be feathers in there for all you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, but I'm just like, "Oof, man."
I know the curator put up a video the other day. He bought some GI Joe figures, I think it
Yes,
was, and he went out of his way to talk about the guy who sent the packaging in. Very nice packaging. It was like
yes.
layers in between layers and
Yep,
stuff. And
yep. That's exactly like I said, with collectibles, dude, that's the main thing. Because you when you buy something like that as a toy collector, you're not looking to take it out of the box, you're looking to keep it in the box. So the toy could be just fine. It's not about what's
mhm,
inside. It's just that outer shell of whatever it is, whether it's the cardboard or the plastic. You want that pristine. And if it's not packaged right, dude, like there was 4 times I had to send the same uh character back from He-Man where Walmart just shoved it in not even a bubble wrap envelope, just a plastic envelope and sent it through. It 4 times it came damaged as hell. And I'm just like, what are these guys doing? And it's from
mm,
Walmart. And I'm like, wow,
yeah,
that's just like real irresponsible. Yeah.
yeah, that's messed up, man. Before we get to the next topic, you ran into an old friend of the show today.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
So your boy's out doing his job, delivering the mail, doing videos as I'm walking through the beautiful streets of Reading, Pennsylvania. I seen a beautiful, beautiful tree, with the pink and the white leaves, and all the leaves had it's still on the tree, but a bunch of them had dropped on the sidewalk, and
Mhm,
it reminded me of Eddie Murphy walking through
yeah,
with the ladies dropping the thing. And as soon as I did that video, I come up to the next block, and my boy, Mr. I don't know, you want to say his name. Let's just say JS was standing outside mowing his lawn, and this is the gentleman that cousin Tony and I had done the deal with, where he had the 6 Jordans, the Michael Jordan rookie 1986 Fleers, that he allowed us to purchase one, and he allowed me to come into his home. We became friends, and you know, this is the first time I see him in a while, so we just start chatting it up. And he still has everything. He was talking about going ahead and selling everything. He described it as an onion, many layers, many things that he has to peel back and things that he has to do in order for this thing to happen. But he has his top layer that he's going to send out to auction, and then the other things that he's going to put on eBay, and then the other things that so it was a whole thing. And this was what, 2 years
I
ago.
was about to say it's been 2 years. That's a hell of an onion.
Yeah, and literally he set up at 2 shows in Ephrata, which is like a small show.
Yeah.
So other than things he sold to me and a couple of things that he sold in Ephrata, he pretty much whatever he made in Ephrata, when he went down to National, he spent it all and got it all back. So this dude is the ultimate, and when I say ultimate, hoarder of cards. This dude, he literally got divorced because of cards. It was a choice. His wife was like, well, ex-wife was, you choose between me and the cars, and he was like, peace, see you later.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about that before. He just reminds me of a guy of that guy in the Chasing Cardboard where I told you he had the House of Cards where he had
Yes.
all that stuff. But uh, yeah, that guy. You talk about diamond hands, but they're also like kung fu grip. Like I don't.
So
He
he
must
collect
really, really like. Do you think he enjoys his cards, or is it more just about accumulating them?
He does, and he knows exactly. He was discussing this, how it's so difficult for him to let a card go because he has a story behind each card purchase, and he
Okay.
has thousands of cards. So it's like, damn, you got a lot of stories, bro.
Yeah.
You know, um, he's a set builder. Now he started from 1957. Now he has cards not the full sets before that, but he has cards before
Hmm.
1957. But he has every top set from 1957 till now when it comes to baseball, and then any type of tops basketball. He also collects hockey and
Yeah.
you know all the sports basically. He's a tops animal.
Yeah. It
Football.
was just nice to see him, just to kind of rekindle that card friendship.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I just you never know. I'm gonna leave it out there. Maybe he one day when he's not a young man.
Hmm.
But if he's one day realizing, I don't have too many days left on this earth, and I remember that cousin Oz was really good to me. I never got to make that deal, but damn it, I'm gonna put them in my will since my son doesn't want this. Yo, cousin Oz, take all my
Yeah,
cars, baby.
there you go. Yeah, I mean, and real quick before we switch gears, but you talked about he said he priced his stuff, but it's been months
Yeah.
now, so
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
whole
So
nother.
he said, "Listen," he goes, "I have everything. I went through my entire collection and I have everything priced out." And I was like, "Wow." I said, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, I put it for the price that I want." I said, "Now, John," I said, "last time when we did the deal with the Jordan, I mean, you were kind of you were high. You were high. I mean, when we did the deal, at that time it was what it was. We paid
Sure.
6,000, right?
Yeah.
6,000 for it was raw. And then
Yep.
we sold it for 5. So, lost a little bit, but hey, we got out in time.
Right.
Um, so basically, he got everything priced out, and I told him, I said, "Dude, if you're interested, I have guys, that we've interviewed. We do the podcast, so there's plenty of guys that I can just have come to your home. They can go ahead and give you an estimate. Obviously, it's not going to be full book on everything. You can't just say, yeah, I want top dollar when it comes to Beckett. All your stuff is raw, nothing's graded, um, and they'll give you like 60 to 70% of what that, whatever the comps are. He's like, yeah, yeah, I know, I know. I was like, do you really? Do you really?
Yeah.
Because I think if those guys would come here and they would offer you 60, 70%, you'd be like, get the hell out of my damn house.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you pointed out about raw, and by putting this 56 set together, I've
Yeah.
noticed, okay, so like you said, you referenced the Beckett, and that gives you, correct me if I'm wrong, does that not give you like good, very good, excellent,
I don't know about
uh
everything, but it does have
but it gives you like a
a
range,
range. Yeah.
right? And seeing these guys post these cards, some people's opinion what VG, it varies, and
Yeah.
that's the one thing where I give the nod to the grading, where the number is the number, and then you can start off of that.
Right.
The VG to you might not be VG to me. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
we have Corky who loves cars that are just
Yeah.
well
Corky
loved.
don't care. Yeah. He's Mr. Well loved. And John, I said, John, when you look at a card, what are you looking at? Are you looking at surface? Are you looking at center? And he's like, corners. They got to be so sharp that they cut somebody.
Okay.
That was exactly what I said. I said, it's funny. I said, because I got people that, swear by the center and they can have soft corners,
Mhm.
but it's all about the centering. And he goes, I'm all about corners and registration. So I was
Okay.
like, interesting. He's like, don't get me wrong. I don't want a card that's way off center. He's like, but I'm not opposed to, 80/20, you know, something like that.
Okay. Fair enough. It's nice to like be able to dip into the thought process of a
Yeah.
collector like that.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's funny because when I first met him, I had no idea what the hell I was talking about. I didn't
yeah.
know. It was like he was up here and I'm down here and I'm just like,
Mhm.
yeah, I just want a Jordan. That's all I'm really, can you show me the Jordans? Because I've never even seen one, held one.
Yeah.
Because it's true. I've never gone to a shop, never been to a national, never been to a show at that point. And I've never seen an 86 Fleer Jordan that close. And literally, I have 6 right in front of me, and I'm just like
Yeah.
in awe. And he's like, "Yeah, man, take whichever one you want." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at." So Tony's set up in the van with the headphones on and listening to our whole conversation. He's like, "All right, let me see." And I got the glasses with the scope that he could see, and he's like, "Okay, the one to the left looks pretty good. Turn it around." And
You imagine that
yeah.
all set up like a like the freaking CIA and stuff. But
Yeah, 'cause Tony's
that's-
like, "Do you want me to come?" "No, no, 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 no. Just stay in the van, and
yeah,
I'll just go ahead and put the glasses on, and then you can talk in my ear."
that's great, man. So let's switch it up, man. You got some pretty big news. You got a man. This is like this is
Ooh.
dope, man. You got I guess the surprise has been, cat's been let out of the bag. I guess you can talk about that, but
Yeah. Yeah, this
um,
is something I wasn't gonna talk about, but like you said, the cat's been out the bag for a couple days now. So first off, scrolling through IG, and I get tagged in a post showing Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11 in Stranger Things, who is, that's my girl, and Stranger Things is my favorite show. Um, so basically, she's gonna make one appearance in the United States this year, and it's one day. It's May 20th, and it's in Orlando, Florida. So I get this post, and I'm like, damn. I just made trips, plans to make a trip to Orlando the 22nd to the 29th in April, right, right before
Mhm.
May. And had I known, I would have scheduled it for May that we're down there and I could have
Uh,
taken my daughter and it would have been nice, real nice and easy, kill two birds with one stone. But I already had made the plans for April 22nd to the 29th. So I was like, man, that sucks. But my daughter, she's always said, and I told her, I said, I'm getting that card from Ken Carl. I'm getting a 101 of 11 made special for you. I said, but when I get it, we're probably going to have to send it to through the mail to have Millie sign it because I don't see us going, to San Diego to a Comic Con or, something like that where she makes these appearances. And I said, I don't even know if she's going to make those appearances because she's too big now.
yeah.
She might make one or two, but I'll see her maybe show up in overseas in Europe or Germany and stuff like that. I said, so there's no guarantee we're going to be able to see her in person. So I'm more than likely going to have to send it through the mail. My daughter's like, if you do that, I'm not going to believe that the auto's real, the autograph.
Look at her.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, why would you say it? She's like, because I didn't see it. So even if you did it and it says, the grading company says it's authentic, I wouldn't believe it. It is my 11-year-old daughter. I'm like,
She
well,
she she junior watchdog.
yeah, she's a junior watchdog. Yeah, if I didn't see it, it didn't happen. So I'm like, wow. I'm like, you're kind of rough there. I was like, you
Yeah.
gotta believe the grading companies. Nah, no, I don't. And walked away, and I was like, whoa. And this was before anything. So when I seen, you know, her appearing in freaking Orlando, May 20th, and I was like, only appearance in the United States this year. I was like, man, I thought about it, and I said to myself, you know what? What the hell? I have a couple bucks saved that I was gonna
No, you
take.
didn't. You're not telling the whole story.
What's the whole story?
What did I tell you?
Refresh my memory.
I said I said it's time to lock up
Well,
Father
oh,
of the Year.
yeah. Well, it's
So,
true because then here I get the thing where I forgot to mention this. So sports card dad, he sends me the thing and he's like, "Yo, I'm taking my daughter down," and I'm just like, "Oh man." I was like, that's gonna be so awesome for you, bro. I said, I can't make it. I'm going down April 22nd to the 29th. Have fun. He's like, all right, cool, cool, cool. So then I was like, man. And then Tony's like, bro, you would be dad of the year if you were able to take your daughter down and have her, meet Millie, take a picture with Millie, and have her sign the card. Could you imagine that? So now the wheels are spinning, and I'm like, man, how can I make this happen? I had the money, but I'm saving it for the national or a couple, other
yeah.
things I was thinking about. I was like, what do I do? What do I do?
I love spending somebody else's money.
Yeah, yeah, of course, for you, it's easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
the devil on my shoulder,
Yeah.
And meanwhile, my wife has no idea what I'm planning or what the hell's going on. So I'm just down here in my basement with Tony on my shoulder saying one thing, and Saint Oz over here saying, "Bro, you can't do that." And Tony the devil eventually went over my thought process and took the incentive, went ahead and bought the. Basically, we're going down that Saturday. We're leaving early Saturday morning, 5 o'clock from Philadelphia Airport, getting there at 8. The function starts, I believe, at 11 o'clock. They're going to do the autographs first and the pictures. Now, the only thing is at 5:30, she has a question and answer, like a Q&A type
Okay.
thing,
Yeah.
like a panel,
Yeah.
um, which my daughter wants to go to, but our plane leaves at 6:30. So there's
Ooh.
no way
Yeah,
that I'm
that's
gonna
tough.
be able to attend
Yeah.
that. So I tried to go online to push the tickets back to see if I and the latest ticket I can get is like 9:30, but we'll be getting home like here around 12:30
Yeah.
midnight. But I have to call up the company because I picked one of those cheap airlines. I think
Okay.
Frontier. They don't
Yeah.
allow the changes on the computer. You have to call up somebody. So that's still in the works. But the whole point is we're going down to Florida, May 20th. I was gonna keep it a secret from my daughter. I couldn't. I told my wife first because I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like at first I'm like, yeah, I'm not telling anybody. I'm just gonna keep it a secret. And then like 2 days later, I told my wife, I said, listen, I'm telling you something, but you can't say nothing to nobody. You can't tell our other daughter. You can't tell your mom. You can't tell nobody. but this is what's going down. And then the first thing you know, she's jumping down my throat about where'd you
Right.
get this money? We're going on another trip. How do you have for another? And I'm just listen. This is why I don't want to tell you. You know what I mean? You're ruining this
Right.
moment for me. I don't care. I'm not going.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah. And then little by little, she started to realize how much this is going to mean to my
Yeah,
daughter, meeting her hero. You know,
yeah,
so that's the main thing. So when I told my daughter, I said, "Hey, what would you think about going to see, Millie?" She's like, "Yeah, that's not happening." I said, "Well, what if I told you it was?" She's like, "Yeah, it's not happening." And I'm like, "Well, it's gonna happen, and you're going out." "No, I'm not." I'm like, "Yes, you are."
uh,
And then all of a sudden, like reality hit, and she was just like, "Well, what am I gonna say?" I said, "Well, that's why I'm telling you right now." I said, "Because daddy's not spending all this money for you to go ahead and
right.
freeze up in front of Millie and look like,
That's great. I mean, she'll come up with something like the eyes. Once the lights come on,
I'm hoping,
she'll
I'm
shine.
hoping. Usually she does once the lights come on, but either way, bro, the experience is gonna be so dope. And then I got the one-on-one Ken
Yeah.
Carl coming this week. He finished it. He let me see it. It's on its way. And he put a special place on the bottom of it for her to sign. Uh, Now the only thing is he did put it in those he slabbed it up.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
now are those easy to crack?
Yeah. They're one touches. Well, yeah. They're. I mean, if he put it in those slabs, um, I'm not. I haven't seen it. So I mean, typically he puts it in a one touch.
No, it's not a one touch.
Oh, okay. He
It's
slabbed
the
it.
actual, yeah, where it has it looks like a
Okay.
PSA slab.
Yikes. That might be have to be a conversation you have with the man.
Yeah,
It'd
and
be
I'm
a
like, "Wait,"
shame.
and he knows that I'm getting it signed. I'm like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah. It
I'm
would be
hoping it's not a whole to do to
yeah.
crack this puppy out.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just hoping
hopefully
it's like a
not.
little snap.
Yeah, have to be a conversation you have with him. But nah, that's awesome, man. And you've talked about having Ken Carl highlight parts of your collection, and to have an Iverson auto now, have the Millie auto.
Mhm.
That's fire, man. And I can't wait to. That's why I said I had when you told me today. I was like, oh man, I have like a million questions because she's, I know that she can be shy and she
Yeah,
being your daughter,
yeah,
uh, but you guys are gonna have a blast, man. It's like gonna be a long day, but it'll be at the end of the day. Like I said to you, like sometimes, man, like that's a lifetime memory for a kid, and
yeah.
you put yourself in her shoes. You're like,
That would have
you
been
know,
like my brother be like, "Yo, we're going to New York to go
yeah,
see Michael Jackson.
yeah, like,
You're gonna get to meet him." I'm like, "What?"
yeah,
You know? So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's like I said, at the end of the day, yeah, it's a nice chunk of change, but
Yeah,
it's
it
nothing. It's
life
nothing a
life life
couple.
is about memories, bro. The memories
Yeah,
when it's all said and done, I always say, like, when you're on your deathbed, all you have is, the family members that are around you and the memories that you had, that you made as a human being. So, this is
yeah,
gonna be one of those.
yeah. Like I said, now you're in the running for Father of the Year. Oz the People's Mailman versus Sports Card Dad.
Yeah, bro. I gotta
Fight to the death. You guys are gonna be running to the booths to see who could buy more junk at the hollow. It's like a horror. Well, that's another thing too. It's a
yeah, it's a
double.
hard convention.
Yeah, it's a double whammy because it's a horror convention. I said, man, you're gonna walk out of there with like all kinds of stuff.
They're having a costume contest, like a
Mm.
crazy one, not like the, good old toy convention, cosplay. This is, like, real scary. I mean,
Okay.
it's right up
Yeah,
right down my alley, up my alley, whatever you wanna say.
yeah. Hmm. All right, so we'll see how that turns out. But I'm happy you guys are gonna get to enjoy that, man. So giddy up and get the popcorn ready, as they say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, dude, you brought up Nationals right around the corner.
That it is.
Yeah,
Time flies, bro.
I know. And so wanted to give Rob his flowers. We were calling a national family reunion,
Mhm.
but he called it the Hobby New Year. And I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? That's a pretty good one because you can. It's a nice point of reference of time where you're like last national, to this national and stuff like that. And I mean, we talked about before we started. I feel like it was just yesterday. Like I don't feel like it's almost been a calendar year.
I just what's fresh in my mind is everybody just talking smack on Atlantic City. It just feels like it was like 2 weeks ago, everybody's just trashing Atlantic City.
Yeah,
The cards were great, the people were great. but all they could talk about was how bad Atlantic City was, and it just feels like I said, like it was yesterday, and here we are, really only a few weeks away, getting ready and gearing up to go to the next one. And I was just like, man, wow. So it just kind of like got me thinking, with that around the corner, what has changed in the hobby, for you, Tony, in this year, whether it's the hobby in general, what do you think has changed? Or, as you as a collector, how have you changed in this, past year from this national to the other one?
Yeah, I have a couple points on both. The hobby as a whole, I feel like it has a stronger foundation
Hmm.
where like the older collectors, they feel like validated for sticking it out and
Hmm.
seeing living through the boom and getting their day in the sun for, sticking around and
Getting their
collecting these
payday if
things.
they decided to let go, and like our guy over here,
Yeah.
JS, who decided to hold on. But if you like you said, got your payday, I mean, yeah, man, you deserved it.
Yeah, yeah. So the first thing is that I feel like those guys, so the foundation of the hobby, I feel it's stronger. Those guys have, I said, they got their flowers. For us, I feel like we're rejuvenated. We left, we came back, and now we're enjoying it. We're a lot more everybody, I think, is a lot more educated. Some people may beg to differ based on our next subject, but we'll get to that later. But I feel like a lot more people are educated, and we're, like I said, we're rejuvenated. We're back again, and I feel like I don't I don't see like who was it? Oh, our guy. I gotta see his face now. Forgive me, Mike. From he is like, some people, they just stopped collecting. They never, how do you say, like they just took a break or something like that.
Right,
Like,
right, right.
so we kind of,
But
I mean,
like he's like, you stop collecting, but you still have the cards.
yeah.
So that doesn't mean you're not still a collector. It just means you paused,
Hmm.
but you've always been a card collector.
Yeah, yeah. So like I said, I feel like that you kind of have that where those people are, they feel like they're back, they're rejuvenated. And for me, as personally as a collector, from starting again from, let's just say, that year to year, for me, I feel like I'm more purposeful.
Hmm.
I'm not getting caught up in listening to shows and what they're buying and talking about and buying that stuff. Like I'm really like zoned in on what I like and what I want to do and what I'm building. And for the most part, I'm sticking to it. I'm not buying. I haven't bought anything. I believe I can say that that is just hot, and I just bought it just because everybody else is buying it.
Yeah.
Like it's all been stuff that I like, that I'm, curating my stuff. So.
It's funny you say that because it's, I think that was real prevalent leading up to the national and before that, those 6 months to a year, that type of content was out there on the daily, listening to the stuff. And we talk about, which we're going to get into, the watchdogs and then the influencers, pumping and dumping and things like that. It was running rampant back, especially during the boom,
Mhm.
anywhere from, they always talk about the Marvel PMGs. I like to talk about the kabooms, the downtowns, inserts like that. Or just, wrestling was big. I'm
For
not
me, it
saying,
was the wrestling.
yeah,
Wrestling.
wrestling was big,
Yeah.
F1, it was, you name it. They were pumping pretty much anything and everything, when it came to that. So that was real prevalent back in the day. I don't see that content as much.
Mhm.
Um, and like you said, everybody's wiser. It's a year now, so the people that are left here, they've done their homework. They listen to content, or if not, they stay in their lane. They know what they like and how they're going to collect, and they're really not going to veer off from it. And they're not going to go ahead and just purchase something just because, you know Dan, the great curator, says, "Hey, look at this Star Wars card." You know, Curator Army, mount up, let's go. You know, and Curator Army said, "Yeah, that's pretty dope, but I'll buy it if I want to."
Yeah.
You know, I don't believe, my thing is, like, I don't see one. A lot of these, whether it's Jeff Sports Card Investor, who are like the two big guys that everybody talks about. I just don't see people just blindly following these guys and doing whatever they say. I know we talk about influencers. I believe people can put ideas in our head, and after a while, you might look into it. But none of these guys are holding a gun to anybody's head. I don't see Dan, the curator, going out and putting a gun in your head, Tony, to buy a Marvel PMG or the latest and greatest, Star Wars, or even Disney. Not for nothing. I love you, Manny, but you were pumping the hell out of that Woody. You know what I mean? So can I, you know what I mean? Am I allowed to, call him out? He had more, a post about that Woody than I've seen in anything else this year. But just I'm messing around, but it's like, you can basically talk smack on anybody if you want to. Whether it's Rob the sports car therapist or cousin Oz for talking about his Michael Jacksons or his Stranger Things, or Tony if you want to talk about, your punch out, and stuff like that. You're hyping up the game market now because you want to get your, you know, Tony
Yeah,
got like six punch outs hidden somewhere that he's gonna sell, double in value once he's
yeah.
done.
You know what? I've got away from. So I used to listen to a ton of hobby content, and that's
Mhm.
also another thing. I've That's shrunk down tremendously for me.
Agreed.
And I do not listen to any content that does like plays of the week,
Yes.
trending up. I don't like I used to. I used
Mhm.
to do that when I first came in. I mean, again, I was listening to everything as if I mean, I'm freaking. I'm gonna try and get as much content as I can just to catch up and whatever. But I don't listen to plays of the like that was one I don't listen to anything plays of the week. That
Yeah.
like sticks out to me like a sore thumb because I know like mm,
Yeah, it was rampant. I mean, and it still goes on. And I get it. Everybody has their niche, so there's
mm,
certain pods out there that want to talk about from the perspective of either you being a dealer and making the most amount of money that way, or you're
yeah,
just in the card game and you're a flipper. So we're going to teach you how to buy, what to buy, and then how to go out there and
yeah,
flip it and make the most amount of money and give you ideas on how to do it, which again, this is an ecosystem. Everybody has to eat. So we need the dealers, we need the
true,
flippers, and we need the collectors that are gonna, everybody's gonna end up with at the end. We need all that for this to work out. So we're not calling out anybody, or we're not gonna say, that person shouldn't be in this hobby because of this, that, and the third. Um, you know, everybody needs everybody. If we were all just collectors, nothing would be out there for sale. So
yeah, very true. So let me flip it on you. What How do you feel? I mean, you kind of talked on the hobby, but what about you as a collector? Where you at? You know, a year, almost a year removed from the last national.
me, I like now I feel like I can do whatever the hell I want. Like, there's no shame in my game. Like, it's like before it was kind of trepidatious as to what I should buy. And, I was like dead set on like, I'm going to build the ultimate collection that's going to be worth X amount of money by the time I retire, if I want to sell it or if I want to will it down to my kids. So I want to be real particular with what I buy, and everything's got to be Gem Mint 10, and it's got to be the best of the best. And now it's just like, you know what? I'm just going to buy what I like.
Mhm.
I'm gonna like it, but it's gonna be a collectible. So, is it gonna be worth, thousands and thousands of dollars? Probably not. But to me, now that I have it in my collection, it's more, it's valuable to me so that when I come down into my man cave, I feel good. I want to feel good. For the longest time, I'm damn near 50 years old. So for, 46 years of my life, I did for
Mhm.
everybody else. So these last couple years, you know what? Shit, I'm doing it for me now. I'm
Yeah.
being a little selfish, and I'm bringing my daughter along with me. Not teaching her how to be selfish, but I'm teaching her how to, learn how to, about this hobby, learn responsibilities, value of a dollar, and doing something for her that she can, for the rest of her life, have that as her go-to, her place that she can, if she wants to go to her room and get away from everything and look at her Stranger Things stuff or her Millie Bobby Brown card that when I was 11 years old, I met
Yeah.
11, which is going to be like mind blowing, which is so cool. And I had, I got my picture with her and I got that card signed. I looked like an idiot because I couldn't say a word when I seen her, but she gave me a hug and it was all good. And now that I watch Stranger Things and I'm showing my kids, listen, check out Stranger Things. And I met her and this was cool, and Millie Bobby Brown, who knows? I just found out today she got engaged. I don't know if you heard
Oh,
that, to
yeah.
John Bon Jovi's son.
Oh, wow.
They've been
Power
dating
couple.
Yeah, they've been dating for 3 years, and he proposed, put a fat ring, rock on her finger. I'm like, "Okay."
Sheesh.
She's young, but hey, you know,
Yeah. Hmm. Over under on that one.
I don't know, man. Like, Millie's a good girl, she's a
Okay.
she's a good girl. He's a good kid. I've watched them for a couple years now. And at first I'm like, what's up with this? They're
Yeah.
young and love, but they've been together, and I haven't heard any like scandalous stuff. And you know,
Okay.
what's
Yeah.
wrong with getting engaged and taking care? Taking if you got Millie Bobby Brown as your girl, you want to take her off the market.
Yeah, I guess he's locking that in.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, what,
Yeah.
what else you got? Come on, bro.
Yeah. That's crazy. So, all right. So, I mean, like I said, we've evolved, and we're a couple months away, and the big thing is, and we keep plugging it because we can't plug it enough. Trade night on Friday night at the National, man. It's going to
Right.
be as the kids say, a movie.
Yeah,
So get there early because that's definitely a come up from our last National. So
that definitely is. When we went there, we were happy to be on stage. We were nervous about that, getting prepared to meet up with cousin John and Danny Black and getting them on that stage, not knowing what to expect. We built friendships from there with Shane, Sports Card Nobody, and who else was there? Who was our
oh,
boy?
everybody, bro, Danny Black
Yeah, there
and
was another
I don't know. Oh, our guy, Mr.
Cormier.
Kevin Cormier.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
trying to think. That
yeah.
Mr. Cormier was in the crowd, supporting the
Yeah,
boys from back
and
in
the
the day.
commish.
Commish, yes, of course. So,
Absolutely. So
now we got a couple more people in our corner, which is pretty cool. And then, teaming up with the Wolfpack and Rob, the sports car therapist, and all the guys, Carmine and Craig and Dave and our boy Ken, Big Ken in the house.
Big Ken in the house,
I
baby,
love I love he's like, join Big Ken. And I'm like, yeah, that's my man.
for sure.
So
So, yeah,
it's gonna be
we're
fun. Fun, fun, fun,
yep,
fun.
absolutely. So, coming down the home stretch, last topic here.
No, we
You
got two
touched on it.
topics, bro.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You touched yeah, we'll go to this one, though. You touched on a little bit with the Watch Dogs, and I know you're now you're kinda watching the Watch Dogs a little bit. That you made the statement here. It says hobby watchdogs are always looking to hold the nefarious characters as influencers in the hobby accountable for their actions and words. Well, who holds these watchdogs accountable for their actions and words when they step out of line?
Yeah.
So talk
Yeah.
to me about
Bro, listen, I love everybody in this hobby. Number one, everybody. We are all, let me say, peas in a pod. We're here for the cards. We're here for the camaraderie. We're here to build relationships. Some of us, we do it all the same but different. Now, there's people that have come in and kind of like put it upon themselves to kind of, well, we see some stuff, and I'm gonna go ahead and team up with some others, or just even do it by myself and police what I think is kind of some shady stuff. And again, this is uncharted territory when it comes to the hobby. It's the wild, wild west. So anything is possible when money gets involved and greed gets involved. There's a lot of shadiness. And, again, I'm going to steal this, but AIH, thank you. Hanky panky, if you will. So that happens on the daily in the hobby. There's always something that you could point to and you'd be like, damn, that can't believe that person did that or this. And it's not just like somebody smash and grab breaking into
it.
a freaking somebody's shop and stealing like that. That's the obvious stuff. Those people, okay, oh, those guys are thieves. We're talking about like undercover stuff where, for some people, like somebody influencing, whether it's Dan the curator or Jeff the sports card investor, they those, like I said, we always go back to the two big dogs. People just put them up as the two guys in the hobby that they feel are just don't belong, and that whatever they're doing, it's just not right. And sometimes, a lot of these watchdogs, they have evidence and you could point to it, and they speak to it like the same way we spoke to, Splendiferous One, Mr. Sweetness, Steve Splenda. When we had conversations, we had him on and we discussed it as, as gentlemen, and he made his point and I made my point, and they were differing points, but at the end of the day, we're hugging and kissing and we're doing all that good stuff, and that's it. We're pounding it up, and that's cool. We can have those discussions. But then there's others in this hobby that feel they got to come on and get real aggressive with it, and like take shit like to another level. And it's like, you're attacking not only that person, but maybe even what they do for a living, or and it gets way beyond the cards, and way beyond what you're trying to prove, um to put your point across. And it's like, what what gives these guys the right to go ahead and judge? Who made you judge, jury, and executioner when you're basically stating an opinion? Like, again, it goes back to, we could talk about Dan the curator pumping Marvel PMGs, but at the end of the day, if I decide to take out my wallet, or I decide to go use my PayPal account and buy that PMG, Dan didn't put a gun to my head. I made a decision as a grown ass man to buy that damn card. Now, Dan could have been talking about it, and I could have been quote unquote influenced and be like, yeah, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But last I checked, every goddamn thing in his hobby, you're pretty much influenced to buy. Whether it's kabooms, whether it's vintage, whether it's modern, ultra modern, the 86 Fleer to the 84 Star. Once the 86 Fleer went all the way up and then it came down and everybody started pumping the 84 Star. So it's like, this is coming from everywhere, and anyone in this particular hobby, when you're going to a show, everybody's strutting their wares, and you're there to purchase stuff. So they're going to try to influence you to buy their stuff, at the price that they want. So it's
Yeah.
like, this that's the game, dog. Like, this isn't, you're not reinventing the wheel. This is what it is. So if you want to be successful, and God forbid you get a sponsorship, and you get up and you talk about some, that sponsor, or what they, and God forbid that sponsor maybe did something, 10 years ago that pissed somebody off, and now forever and a day that will forever be known as the, if you get sponsored by that person, you're a shithole just like them. And it's like, come on, man, let's back off the rhetoric, and if you got good legit gripes, I'm all for it. And like I said, bring me the shillers, bring me the people that are trimming, bring me the people that are trying to scam. Cool, all that, yes, all day. But when you start getting personal, like over like card beefs, and it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. That's why I hear everything you're saying, and the thing that rings out, like, that's like ding ding ding, is freaking buy what you like. Like, that trumps all.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like all this noise and all this stuff. And like, yo, if you stick to that, like, then it's, and I 1,000% agree. But once you get past the cars, you start attacking people's person.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's a bit
You got,
much, man. Like,
like, and we've gotten it. We haven't brought it up, but we've gotten a little bit of the venom, and it just gets to the point, like, dude, like I said, I love everybody in this hobby, and even the person that I'm referring to, I love that dude. You know what I mean? Like, I love you. I love everybody. The Oz isn't here to create enemies. The Oz is not here spending his well-earned money in this goddamn hobby to be getting in some East Coast, West Coast beef like Tupac and Biggie. It's like, I'm not for that shit. I'm here to, to relax. I'm here to buy cars. I'm here to enjoy myself. I'm here getting on this podcast. So it's therapy for me to be able to, talk to the masses, and express myself. And if I have an opinion where I say, yeah, I love Dan the curator, okay, does that make me a bad guy? No, I just have a different opinion from you. You may think he's the worst thing, that's ever come into this hobby. I don't. I'm sorry. And if that makes me a bad guy, then so be it. I will die up on the Dan the Curator cross. Me and Dan talk every day. We share posts. He likes my posts. I like his. I make comments. He makes comment on mine. And God forbid that I do. If that's the case, if that's the downfall of Cousins Collectibles, is me loving Dan the Curator, then God damn it, I am sorry. I apologize, Tony, that we can't get any bigger things because of that. But I'm not gonna. I've never not liked Dan, and I've never changed my opinion. I was told that I did, and that's not the case. I am on record. Okay, going to bat for Dan when we interviewed him, after that, and now. So it is what it is. It is. You know what I mean? So, like, you're not going to tell me how I'm supposed to feel, how I'm supposed to think, and I'm not going to tell you how to feel and think. I'm going to agree to disagree, but I'm
yeah,
not going to attack you.
yeah. That's that ain't it. And you guys, actually, you guys being you and Dan, You guys kind of collect similar things.
Yeah, bro. Like, dude,
Like he does the action figures. Yeah, it's GI Joe, but like
yeah, it's
which
the same
nobody
thing.
like busts him for that. And I've seen him post more GI Joe stuff
Yeah,
than
like you know,
so. I mean,
it's real
I don't know.
selective. It's
Whatever.
real selective what they like
It's
to
all
pick out
good.
and choose. It's almost I don't know, man. Like I say, it's
Yeah.
low hanging fruit. To me, it's lazy,
uh,
and it's easy when you got somebody that's the poster boy that you can continue to, go ahead. He's the pinata, and you're just gonna keep swinging at it until he busts. But they forget that Dan's not gonna bust. He's gonna bust back, and that gets him even more pissed. And to me, I kind of like that. And you always talk about the
Embrace the
yeah, embrace, you talk about the heel. Hey, I kinda like the heel too, so I'm not gonna front.
yeah. It's like sometimes I think I'm like, yeah, I think these guys are all in cahoots, man. Where it's just like a reality show
It is.
within
It
so
is, and it
whatever.
makes it fun, but at the same time, like, you can only take it so far. When once you get to the point where you're just spewing to me, it's hate, and I talked about this with Steve, and I said there's a lot of hate in this hobby, and we can put our head in the sand and we could put a blind eye to it, but it's a fine line between hobby watchdog and a guy that's just hating, on anything and everything, and then you get to the point like, dude, if you feel that way, why are you here? And I'm not trying to kick you out of the hobby, but you're pretty much putting yourself on an island where you hate everything, you know good, bad, different, pretty, ugly. It doesn't matter. You're just like, you got a comment, and that comment is always a negative one. And it's just like, dude, why? What?
Mm,
What are we doing?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what.
So
Just need a
Oz is
hug.
the official hobby watchdog. Watchdog.
There you go. So let's finish up on a more positive note, which is actually kind of a struggle. It's the struggle of taking the perfect picture for your Instagram account, and on top of that, picking the right song.
Dude, this is the bane of my existence.
Talk to me about dealing with reflections,
Oh my god.
shadows.
I tell you what, bro. I'm up to like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. My wife
I
wakes
see
up
that.
in the middle of the night. What the hell are you doing? Who are you downstairs texting? Are you talking to your girlfriend? Wait, I'm like, man, if you knew for the last hour and a half, I've been trying to get this goddamn picture just right. And now that I got it, now I'm trying to think of inspiration of what song I should use. And it's just, man, so I can get 10 likes.
So 10
But
people can make me feel good.
yeah, and 2 comments, but I'm all for it, and that's hey, but I'm not doing for that. I'm doing it because listen, I'm on this Michael Jackson kick. So to me, when I'm doing this, I'm taking that picture of the card, and then it's like, man, okay, I'm looking. Okay, this is 1985 Panini. What did Michael come out with in 1985? Bang. Then I'm looking at what he came out with. I'm like, all right, well, so what's the dopest one out of that? And
Yeah.
what can I tell about what nugget of information can I throw in that? Not that people are going to read what I wrote down, but if they did read that, they would
Mhm.
get a little nugget of information from Mike. And then let me go ahead. Not just post the regular song. I want to find a remix of that song that nobody's heard. That's dope as shit. And then, so I'm like going down these rabbit holes every night trying to find the perfect post, and it's like, whew. And then God forbid the glares, bro. The glares are everywhere. You can't get
Yeah.
away from the glares. If it was all raw, it'd be great, but everything got a slab on it, and it's just like there's something. You go to the left and you think you got the right picture, then you look at it and it's a little fuzzy. There's a glare right over his eye, and it's like, oh
Yeah.
my god. And then yeah, dude, it's
Yeah.
a mess.
So if anybody has any tips on how to help some of that out, because I mean, we have the photo boxes. I mean, we were talking to the commish the other day. Commish says, sometimes he's standing on his head, leaning to the left, has the camera between his toes, and just to get the
Upside
right,
down.
you know. So yeah, the struggle is real when you're trying to get those pictures. And so by the time this releases, I may or may not have my Ken Carl in hand, and
Ooh,
I'm already struggling to figure out how I'm
how
gonna
to do
take
it
the proper picture
because
to
there's two of them.
yeah, to justify what that man did. And man, what, oh
Dude,
lordy
like,
lordy.
when I seen that, I was like, "Wow, Ken
Yeah,
Carl, you outdid yourself, brother, like, serious." Ooh.
yeah, yeah. So I'm already stressing. I was like, do I gotta go and buy a camera just for this one, card or something? I don't know. But again, if anybody has any tips on that, feel free to slide into DMs and help us out because struggle is real, man. You know, you're looking for that perfect picture, and then on top of the song, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
You know, because then you're looking at, I don't want to use the same songs over and over, and just
Do I wanna go hip hop? Do I wanna go rock and roll? Do I wanna
yeah,
go pop? Do I wanna go
yeah,
country? I don't know, you know what I mean? Just throw some like, I did one where I did Mike no, it wasn't Mike Jaminski. It was, Kevin McHale.
yeah,
And I did, Party All the Time, Eddie Murphy,
yeah,
and the only reason I did that because it was 1986, and Eddie Murphy in 1986, that was actually it came all the way up to number 2, but overall that year, that was number 7 on the Billboard charts. My Girl Likes to Party All the Time, and I love the shit out of Eddie Murphy, and I love that song, and it's a running joke between me and my boys.
yeah,
So if you know, you know. But it had nothing to do with Kevin McHale other than the year. So the
yeah,
people were like, "Okay, I think that's cool. I'm gonna go with it." I was like, "Bro, trust me. You can't go wrong with Kevin McHale and Eddie Murphy. It's a winning combination."
yeah. It was it's not a hard song to memorize. So
Oh yeah, yeah. My girl
figured
likes to party all the time,
that's it.
and I was like, "Eddie, you need to leave your girl."
So yeah, man, that's all we got for right this week. Like I said, a little bit of everything, these are this episode's kind of like the ups and downs of the hobby, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you just got to ride it out. And that's just a lot of that too though is a lot of social media. That's just social media in general.
yeah.
I mean, our guy JS, he has no idea who the curator is, who watchdogs are, what market movers is. He don't know nothing about all
Oh,
that,
bro.
man. And that's a
No, you know
whole
what he
and
said to
like,
me? He's like,
yeah.
"You're a young guy. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you the question. So what's going on in the hobby now?"
See?
That was his first question. I'm like, "Bro, if you only knew."
Right.
So
And
I
that's
kept it
just
yeah,
like a
and it's true, bro, and I like, sometimes I feel like, man, I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of car porn. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of Lamine James. I'm gonna go ahead and unfollow Octane Collectibles and, all these guys that have these funny memes that they're funny at the moment, but then they're talking about negative stuff that's happening, and it's like, okay, then you go down that rabbit hole. Well, what's that about? What's that about? And then you find yourself going completely where you shouldn't be going
yeah.
because it's drama, man. We,
I'll say this though, like Octane Collectibles goes so extreme with his stuff that it's hilarious, man. Like
It
he just
is, but you can get
yeah, it's some of it is not
it's a
suitable
little
for work. So
risque. I see
just
some of them posts, I'm like, "Boy."
just be careful if
Yeah,
you're gonna go down
I
if you're gonna go down the Octane rabbit hole. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, man,
it makes
I'm
me laugh.
surprised. Let me put it like this, just some of those things I say, I'm surprised Octane is still around.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Still
It's
around
just
doing content,
yeah,
living his best life.
yeah, yeah. He has it. He just I heard him on the Too Thick Pod the one time. He just like, dude, he goes, I'm just making fun of us, man. We're all
Yeah,
here and we're all a bunch of goofballs anyway. So I'm just
that's the point. What it all boils down to is we're a bunch of nerds, yo. Embrace it. You know what I mean? Don't
yeah,
act like, "Oh, I'm a cooler nerd than that guy." You know what I
yeah.
mean? You're still a nerd. You're still a nerd. I'm a nerd. I'll accept that,
My
like,
pocket protector is cooler than yours, man.
yeah, you know what I
I
mean?
got
Like,
the 5 pen edition. You only got the 3.
well, I got contacts in. You still wearing your glasses. You know what I mean? Like, stop it. You're still a freaking nerd. You know what I mean? You're not cooler than me.
That's great. So, but like I said, that's all I got. Check us out Thursday live. That's always
Woo!
fun. We're gonna
That's
have
gonna be
some,
fun. That's gonna
it's
be fun.
yeah,
You never
Thursdays
know
are
who's gonna pop up, show up. I don't even know. Tony be like, "All right, we got a new caller." And you
yeah.
control all of that. So I really, it's a news to me when somebody comes on, and I'm like, "Oh, who is it?" Because I have no idea.
Open the curtain. It's like woo. So, but yeah. So that's it. That's all I got. So I turn the tables over to you, sir. Take us home,
Yes,
and
sir. Yes,
let's
sir.
get it going.
I wanted to give a couple shout outs. One to my boy Denny's Cards. Um, he's been doing a lot of good things in the hobby. I like what he's doing, looking to make a name for himself. I never, you know, hate on anybody or try to I'm always trying to uplift and bring, people that are really trying to go ahead and put themselves out there in the hobby. And Denny's doing that, James Lumen. And then there's a guy that reached out to me, JC Cox. He's hopefully that's a real name, but um
I'm
no, but
sorry. Yeah, hopefully that's his name. I'm not laughing, but
it's JC Sports Cards 12.
okay.
So he basically he hit me up and he's new to the hobby. He goes, I'm mostly, newer in baseball, football, and basketball. I'm just trying to get up and running, So he was asking me some stuff, and I thought it was cool. He reached out to me, and I was like, listen, bro. I said, to be honest, all the questions you have, I said, I could sit here. I said, I'm delivering the mail. I would love to just sit down and chat, but I'm actually working. I
Yeah.
said, but I'm not trying to pump myself up, but we have my cousin and I, we do a podcast and we interview the who's who in the hobby, all these guys that have been here, 10, 20, 30 years, or just recently that are real successful. And we try to, get all the nuggets of information that we can to get all the secrets to this hobby, so that, it's free, you could just listen
Yeah.
or you can go on YouTube and you can watch it. And it's not just us, it's people like Rob and all these other guys that are content creators, that are doing this stuff out of the kindness of their heart because they like to, and it's, again, we're not charging for this stuff. This is free
Mhm.
information. So why wouldn't you, as a collector, and if you want to, get serious about this hobby, go ahead and do like we did. Try to listen to as much of this stuff. If it's free, you're just gonna you listen to it all, you figure out what you like, and then you stay with that and you get in your lane. So I was like, whatever you need, if you have any questions, bro, don't hesitate to hit me up. And if I can't answer it, I'll get somebody that can.
Yeah.
So, shout out to my man JC. Shout out to Denny's Cars. Shout out to James. Shout out to the Wolf Pack. You know, shout out to all the peoples that might be, a little butthurt after this one. I still love you.
You're gonna get a video made about.
Listen, at the end of the day, I don't care. Do what you want about me. I still love you.
There you go. Love it. So I'm just laughing because I can just see the video now.
You know what?
But
Shout out to my man, the splendiferous one, the sweetness, Mr. Steve,
oh,
Splenda. I love you
Splenda.
too.
Yeah, Splenda's our guy, man. We get to talk to Splenda all the time, man. So appreciate Splenda.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so take us home, Oz.
So we're gonna end this like we always do, and that is keep focused, keep positive, and keep collecting. Hey, yo, Tone, bring the beat back.